On July 16, 2023, after a years-long battle with pancreatic cancer, Kevin Mitnick, a renowned figure in cybersecurity and one of the world's most famous computer hackers, passed away at the age of 59. But who was Kevin Mitnick, and what made him famous? This is the topic of today's Cyber Decipher. Kevin David Mitnick was born on August 6, 1963 in Van Nuys, California. He grew up in the San Fernando Valley of Los Angeles, where he was a self-described bored but happy-go-lucky kid. In a biography written by Thomas Green in 2003, Kevin recalls one of his very first hacks at just 12 years old. In this, he convinced a bus driver into giving him the details of where to purchase the special punch used to validate bus tickets. Kevin rummaged through trash cans to find blank bus tickets and used his newly acquired punch to create his own passes. These passes allowed him to virtually ride any of the transit system buses to go anywhere in the city at no cost to him. The 1970s and 80s were a time when phone and computer technology was rapidly advancing. Kevin became deeply captivated with these emerging technologies and spent a significant portion of his youth tinkering with the latest gadgets. In high school, Kevin was introduced to phone phreaking by another student. Phone phreaking was a type of hacking where the hacker exploited flaws in the telephone network systems. This activity was primarily meant to trick the systems into obtaining free telephone calls.
Please deposit $5 for the first minute. Thank you.
No, thank you.
They also practiced making pre-text phone calls to phone company employees to trick them into providing information about telephone customers and to learn secret test numbers used to make long-distance telephone calls for free, or at least free to them. The tactic of tricking people into giving up what otherwise should be sensitive information is now known as social engineering. Kevin used this phone phreaking as his training ground to hone his social engineering skills. In 1979, he was challenged by a group of friends at school to hack into the Ark. The Ark was a computer system at the Digital Equipment Corporation used for developing their RSTSE multi-user, time-sharing operating system software. The group had been trying to breach into the DEC systems for some time without any luck. The group provided Kevin with the dial-in phone number for DEC and a challenge that he accepted. Kevin, already a young social engineering expert, put his skills to use. A telephone call claiming to be Anton Chernoff, one of the Ark's project leads, is what was needed to enable him to convince a system manager into resetting Anton's password to one of Kevin's choosing. Kevin also learned on this call that the dial-in account had a separate password as an extra layer of security. The system manager provided Kevin, or Anton, with that password, which ironically Kevin claimed was buffoon. Kevin claims to have been able to do all of this within a 5-minute time frame. While logged into the DEC systems, it was later alleged that Kevin copied the company's software, a crime for which he was charged and eventually convicted of in 1988. He served 12 months in prison, followed by 3 years of supervised release. During his 12 months prison term, it was said that he was held in solitary confinement for 8 months. It was claimed that the justification for this confinement was the authorities had an ill-informed belief that Kevin was able to use jail payphones to hack into NORAD and whistle commands that could launch nuclear warheads, starting World War III. In 1992, near the end of his supervised release period, Kevin was tipped off that he was being surveilled by law enforcement who were attempting to build another case against him. On July 4th, 1994, a story was published in the New York Times by John Markoff entitled Cyberspace's Most Wanted, Hacker Eludes FBI Pursuit. In this article, which Kevin claimed to be full of untruths and unsupported allegations, Markoff accused Kevin of stealing software and data from more than a half a dozen leading cellular telephone manufacturers. Markoff laid out claims that Kevin had cost MCI Communications and DEC millions of dollars in damages and had stolen over $1 million worth of software. It was later alleged that Motorola, Nokia, Fujitsu, Novell, and Sun Microsystems were also among his victims. Markoff went on to accuse Kevin of wiretapping the FBI and the California Department of Motor Vehicles phone lines. Kevin became one of the FBI's 10 most wanted and went on the run to avoid capture. He was arrested on February 15, 1995, by the FBI in Raleigh, North Carolina. He was charged in North Carolina with 23 counts of access device fraud. In an attempt to expedite his return to California, he agreed to a plea deal on a single count and have the rest of his case consolidated in Los Angeles. The sentence for this single charge was 8 months prison, along with another 14 months as a violation of his previous supervised release, for a total of 22 months. He was extradited to California, and on September 30, 1996, he was arraigned and charged with 25 counts, including access device fraud, wire fraud, and computer fraud. He entered a plea of not guilty and was denied bail because the prosecuting attorney successfully argued that Kevin was a flight risk. While awaiting trial, Kevin was allegedly held in solitary confinement at times. Reasons for this included a belief that he was going to create a transmitter out of a Walkman and then somehow sneak it into the warden's office in order to monitor his communications.
It's a foolproof plan! I'm gonna take this.
It was also reported that he spent time in the hole for hoarding too many cans of tuna. In April of 1999, Kevin pled guilty to 4 counts of wire fraud, 2 counts of computer fraud, and 1 count of illegally intercepting a secure communication as part of a plea deal. On August 10, 1999, Kevin was sentenced to 3 years and 10 months in prison to be served in addition to his 22-month sentence for the charge in North Carolina. After serving almost 60 months of his 68-month total sentence, Kevin was released on January 21, 2000. In addition to his prison sentence, he was also required to serve 3 years of probation, during which he was not allowed to have any computer hardware, computer software, any computer-related peripheral, internet access, or cellular telephone. He was also prohibited from working as a computer consultant during that time. Kevin has always maintained that contrary to the negative image portrayed by the media and law enforcement, Kevin's breaches were not motivated by financial gain or a desire to cause harm. Rather, he considered himself a trophy hunter, seeking exciting challenges and big accomplishments to showcase his skills. He said that humor played a part too, as he delighted in outsmarting authority figures and arrogant tech enthusiasts. His probation ended on January 21, 2003. This ended the restrictions to his access to technology and removed his restriction in pursuing employment in cybersecurity. Kevin transitioned into a white hat hacker, using his skills legally to assist businesses in identifying and securing vulnerabilities in their systems. Kevin became a paid security consultant for Fortune 500 companies, performing penetration testing services for the world's largest companies, and taught social engineering classes to dozens of companies and government agencies. In the year 2000, Miramax made a movie loosely based on the events of Kevin's life, Takedown, which was based on a book by the same title. An independent documentary titled Freedom Downtime was then made that corrected many errors in the Miramax movie. Freedom Downtime also documented the Free Kevin grounds root movement that sprung up during the time that he was awaiting trial. Kevin authored 4 books, including The Art of Deception in 2002 and The Art of Intrusion in 2005. His book, Ghost in the Wires, published in 2011, was a New York Times bestseller. Ghost in the Wires chronicles his time in the early 90s while on the FBI's 10 Most Wanted lists and on the run. His last book was The Art of Invisibility, published in 2017. Reflecting on his past, Kevin shared in a 2005 interview with CNN that he acknowledged making regrettable mistakes in his younger years and expressed gratitude for the second chance he had been given. He said that he has found fulfillment in utilizing his expertise to benefit the community. In 2012, Kevin joined the Internet Security Awareness training firm KnowBe4 as their chief hacking officer, and he was also a partial owner. According to KnowBe4's website, Kevin is the most world-famous hacker and has been the subject of countless news and magazine articles published throughout the world. He has made guest appearances on numerous television and radio programs, offering expert commentary on issues related to information security. In addition to appearing on local network news programs, he has made appearances on 60 Minutes, The Learning Channel, Tech TV Screensavers, Court TV, Good Morning America, CNN's Burden of Proof, Street Sweep, Talkback Live, National Public Radio, and as a guest star on ABC's spy drama, Alias. I have personally had the pleasure of meeting Kevin over the last 15 years at multiple events and engagements. I have enjoyed all of his books and have each of them signed in my collection, along with a couple of his trademark business cards that you would definitely not want to bring with you on an airplane. On July 16, 2023, after battling pancreatic cancer for more than a year, Kevin passed away in Las Vegas, Nevada, where he resided. Kevin's wife, Kimberly, was pregnant with their first child at the time of his death. Thank you for taking the time to watch this video. I hope that you have found it to be informational and helpful. Please like and subscribe.